Hello everybody and welcome to Parallel Projections 2. So just to go over a few things from last week, remember we came across new terms which is orthographic projection, which I'll be doing up here today. We'll be doing something called oblique and isometric. Now they're just different ways we represent a 3D object. So what we'll do is we'll begin by here setting up today our orthographic. It will be always, it's the most important, it is always the one I will go and I will do first. So I have my XY line put in. I set up a crate. Okay, so that's the minimum size that this object will fit into, both in my elevation and my end view. Okay, I also put down this 45-degree line here. So if you put your 45-degree set square there, you can draw in that line. And that is very helpful to us, of course, because when we're setting up the plan view here, which will be under your elevation, all we have to do is drop the width from the end view down onto that orange line, and we could bring them across. This will get us the crate for the plan view. Drop it down, drop it down. So it will fit in there into that crate. Now I could of course just drawn it and measured it, but it is a very helpful and time-saving method to develop. So the second thing we're going to do then today is we're going to kick off now with the elevation itself. So I can see there the 3D drawing is telling me that this object has maximum dimensions of, it's 104 long, 52 wide, and if you add up 26, 26 and 26 you will get, that's right, 78. Okay, so it's 78 by 104 for my elevation, 52 wide by 78 high. Okay, and the height and the elevation in end view will always be the same. So we can set out our grid then to draw in this. So I've marked off already my heights there. And we can see in the 3D drawing in the question, the first step is spaced at 26. And then it's 52 wide after that. Okay, so that'll bring us up to 78. And those are the only two widths I will need. Now I'll need them in the plan view as well later on, so I'll draw two light construction lines in there for them. And believe it or not, there you have all the lines you need now to make the three views. So we'll just start going out over them heavy then. That is my plan view now finished. And just finish out them steps, if you want to call them that, in our elevation. And now we'll finish out our end view as well, of course. And that is our elevation, end view and plan. So we'll just go ahead there and we'll just label those. And you can label them anywhere you want. So I'll just put a light line across there. I'll put a light line across the bottom down here. Plan. Elevation. End view. Okay. And that is our orthographic, of course. And we'll just we can write in that word as well, if you'd like. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the oblique view. And this is just another way of representing this 3D object that you see in the question before you. Now, we are told today it's on a scale of 1:2. So what that means is you are going to draw this object half size. And if you think about that, if you were looking at a house you were going to build, you might get that on a scale of 1:50 or 1:100, because obviously they couldn't show you the real size on a piece of paper, or it could be, the piece of paper could be 10 meters long. So that's why they scale it down so that you can see it. So and it must be scaled down proportionally, of course. So we'll go over here, and we know there was 104. So we're scaling 1 is to 2. So that means everything's going to be half now. So I'm going to draw this line here, 52. And if it was 78 high, it now becomes, when you half that or scale it, it's going to give us 39. Now there's 3 steps in that, so 3 into 39 will go 13, 26. And we'll just divide it up here in the base as well. Very similar now to what's going on there in the elevation. It will be the same scale, of course. 13, 29. So I'm just halving 26 down to 13 here. And we'll just draw in the lines lightly. Now when you're doing oblique, it's a good idea to draw, this is going to be a 3D box in a minute when I'm finished with it, but always draw what is closest to you first. Now, when you are doing oblique, and we'll just write in that as well today again. The 45 degree set square is the one you want. Now it can go off to the left or the right. We're going to go off to the left today. Doesn't matter. If you want to go, if you went off to the right, it's okay too. So I'm going to run off a series of lines to the left hand side. Light construction lines, not measuring them yet. Now we know the width is 52, so that's going to give us 26 when we scale it. And you can just draw in the line on the bottom there. And it's going to come up. You could measure off 26 on all of them if you want to, but you don't have to. It's going to cross there, up here, across to there, up again, and last one to get us back to there. And all we need to do now is do our lines in heavy. And that is our oblique drawn. Lastly, folks, we have to do the isometric. And we can do the isometric anywhere, doesn't matter on the sheet, and that is just a sketch, okay? Now, I always say to you, and I'll just write down isometric there first before we do it. Set up that crate. So it's like a 2D grid, but a 3D grid, the crate. So imagine you're sending that object off in the post to somebody and you want the smallest possible box that would fit into. So I start there, go off to the left, go off to the right, sorry, go off to the left. And that kind of looks like a chicken's foot. So all the lines are going to be parallels to lines 1, 2 and 3 after this. And remember, use the sliding pencil technique if you want. Now you can make this any size, doesn't matter. And if that's a straight vertical line there, this must be a vertical line when you get over here as well. You can use that as a guide again. And a vertical line over here. Sometimes for the space and 2, if you were dividing that into 3, you could use your rubber or a small, your thumb like that if you wanted as well, if you found that useful for keeping the spacings the same. Okay, I'm just going to do this one by eye. So that's my 3D crate set up. Now I always do the front face as well, what's closest to me. So I'm roughly divided into 3 there. And coming up, I'm happy enough with that now. I'll go over it a bit heavier then. might do it lightly first as usual, just until we're happy with the lines. When we're happy, then we'll go over it a bit heavier. And this is all practice, folks, this sketching, you do know from the time we spent at it earlier on in the year. So when you're happy enough there with it, we'll start doing it in a bit heavier then. And that is our isometric sketch done. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and colour it. So I'll stop talking now and colour this in. So that's that question finished, folks. I hope you found that useful. Now remember, orthographic, oblique and isometric. Okay, oblique 45 degrees, isometric going off 30 to the left and right, but we're just sketching that one today. So I'll assure you, make sure you apply your colour and do the corresponding colours in all different views. Doesn't matter what colours you have, but if it's red here, it must be red there, it must be red there, for example. Okay, so take care, folks, stay safe, we'll talk to you soon.